Hello friends, welcome to another video on your channel. Today, we're going to explore one of the most exciting and hottest topics in the world of artificial intelligence, the language model Claude 4 that everyone is talking about. If you're interested in technology, make sure to stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to share a lot of interesting and amazing facts with you. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that red button right now. Drop a nice like below the video, and let's dive into the future. Alright, let's get to the point. In recent years, large language models like GPT or Claude have revolutionized the AI world. It's no longer just about translation or chatting. These models are replacing real assistants. One of the newest and most powerful models is Claude 4, developed by the American company Anthropic. It was introduced in March 2024 and surprised everyone from the very beginning. Claude 4 is essentially a more advanced version of its predecessors like Claude 2 and 3, but with a ton of new and exciting features that make it a supermodel. What's the difference? Is it just stronger? No, my friend. Claude 4 isn't just a chatbot. It's a platform for building intelligent agents that can even perform tasks on their own without human intervention. Anthropic itself has an interesting story. This company was founded by some former members of OpenAI, people who once worked on ChatGPT themselves. Now they've come up with a model that's set to outshine competitors. Claude 4 has been released in several versions. Claude 4 Opus, this is the professional-grade version. It's the strongest model in the family, and has even outperformed GPT 4.1 in some tests. Claude 4 Sonnet, a lighter, faster version designed more for everyday and commercial use, high speed, and low cost. And soon, a version called Haiku will come out that responds ultra-fast in real time. Even in the first two versions alone, there are tons of exciting features. For example, previous models could only handle short texts, but Claude 4 can understand and analyze tens of thousands of words. This means it can easily review a full report, a scientific article, or even a legal contract. Alright friends, so far we understand that Claude 4 isn't just a language model, it's a smart, precise collaborator for many important tasks. Now it's time to explore those features that truly set it apart. One of the things that make Claude 4 special is its incredible power in reasoning and problem solving. This model can analyze and solve complex math problems or even programming challenges with great accuracy. The reason is that during training, it used some new and special techniques that taught it how to think logically. Another cool feature is its deep semantic understanding between sentences. If you've ever talked to chatbots that get lost halfway through the conversation, Claude 4 doesn't have that problem. Even with very long texts, it maintains coherence and doesn't lose track. And here's a truly revolutionary feature. Claude 4 has something called a dynamic context window. What does that mean? It means it can remember and respond based on very long texts, even tens of thousands of words. For example, if you give it a 50-page financial report, it can analyze and summarize it for you. This makes it very practical for real-world applications like analyzing legal contracts or long scientific papers. But let's talk about coding too. Claude 4, especially the Opus version, has excelled in programming benchmarks like SWE-bench. This model can code in languages like Python, JavaScript, and C++. Find bugs, fix them, and even retest the code. Optimize old code and write explanations for it. So, if you're a programmer, Claude can literally be your right-hand assistant. Even beyond that, Claude can connect to external tools, calculators, the web, computer files, and more. This means it can truly become a smart agent that performs tasks on its own, without you constantly telling it what to do. Another feature is its long-term memory. What does that mean? It means if you have conversations with it, it remembers important information. This is excellent for anyone wanting to build a real personal assistant. And of course, we shouldn't forget Claude 4's ethical features. Because it's built with rule-based training, it responds politely, balanced, and realistically, even to tough or challenging questions. By the way, an important note, if you've stayed with us this far, make sure to like the video, so YouTube's algorithm knows this video is valuable. And if you have any questions or comments, write them below. I'd be very happy to read them. Now let's see how Claude 4 really performs in practice. Is it just strong on paper, or has it actually outperformed other models? First of all, there's something called benchmarks, standardized tests designed to measure AI models' quality. One of the most important is MMLU, which covers various topics like medicine, history, math, and more. In this test, Claude 4 Opus scored between 86% to 88%. That's even higher than GPT-4.1 and very close to Gemini 1.5 Pro. This shows its understanding and analytical power is really high. Now let's move on to coding. In an important test called Sway Bench, which focuses on solving real problems in GitHub repositories, Claude 4 performed amazingly. Claude 4 Opus solved over 50% of problems. GPT-4.1 solved about 23%. Claude 3 was even below 20%. This is a really significant leap. In the Human Evil test, which evaluates Python code quality, Claude 4's performance was very close to GPT-4 and ahead of Gemini. Now, regarding intelligent agents AI agents, in tests like Agent Bench and Arc Challenge, where models must think and decide over multiple steps, Claude 4 appeared very accurate and coherent, especially in cases with incomplete information or complex conditions. Of course, it still doesn't fully grasp
Another
some very
really long
complex
email
demands like
update from the school.
GPT-4.1, but in many areas, it's ahead of Gemini. If we summarize Claude 4's performance compared to main competitors, in reasoning and conceptual analysis, Claude 4 earned a perfect 5-star rating. GPT-4.1 is close behind with 4.5 stars, and Gemini 1.5 is at the same level. In solving real-world problems, Claude 4 scored a full 5 stars. GPT-4.1 got about 4 stars, Gemini 3.5 stars. In coding and code generation, Claude 4 and GPT-4.1 are almost equal, both with 4.5 stars. Gemini performed weaker with 3.5 stars. Regarding long-term memory, Claude 4 is really strong with 5 stars. GPT-4.1, limited by its context window, got only 3.5 stars. Gemini performed better than GPT with 4 stars. For multi-step, goal-oriented tasks, Claude 4 leads with 4.5 stars. GPT-4.1 follows with 4 stars, and Gemini scored only 3 stars due to weaknesses in tracking task progress. Finally, in human-like, polite, and meaningful conversational behavior, Claude 4 shines with a perfect 5 stars. GPT-4.1 and Gemini are tied for second place with 4 stars. Alright friends, now that we've seen how powerful Claude 4 is, let's take a look at where it's actually being used in the real world and what kinds of tasks it can help us with. One of the most important areas is in large companies and organizations. Claude 4 can serve as an all-in-one virtual assistant, handling tasks like summarizing reports, analyzing data, writing professional emails, and even scheduling meetings. No need to spend hours reading a 100-page document. Claude gives you a summary in seconds. In the world of education, Claude 4 is making a huge impact. Students and teachers can use it to generate educational content, answer complex questions, or even create custom exercises. For example, it can help a student understand difficult math concepts in a simple way with examples and practice problems. And as we mentioned earlier, it's incredibly strong in programming. Some software companies are already using Claude 4 to review and debug their project code. Some teams are even designing new products with its help. Claude gives them ideas, writes the initial code, and helps with testing too. Another exciting use case is in customer service. Claude 4 can power advanced chatbots that are accurate, polite, and super responsive. Forget the slow, repetitive bots of the past. And finally, thanks to its unique architecture, Claude 4 offers an open platform for building smart agents. That means you can design an agent that, for example, monitors daily news related to a specific topic and provides you with summaries or handles tasks across different apps automatically. Now let's answer a big question. How does Claude 4 compare with other powerful AIs like OpenAI's GPT-4 and Google's Gemini 1.5? First, when it comes to reasoning and understanding complex prompts, Claude 4 is currently at the top. In many tests, it outperformed GPT-4 and Gemini 1.5 in understanding context, solving logic puzzles, and following detailed instructions. This is especially noticeable in long conversations or complex tasks. But GPT-4 still has the upper hand in creativity and multilingual performance. For example, GPT-4 can write poetry or short stories in multiple languages better than Claude in most cases. Also, its performance in coding is still more consistent across different languages. Gemini 1.5 from Google is strong in combining text and image understanding. For example, you can give it a screenshot or chart along with a question, and it can explain it to you. Claude is good at this too, but Gemini sometimes does it more accurately. In short, each model has strengths. Claude is like the genius assistant that deeply understands what you want. GPT-4 is the creative writer and versatile thinker. And Gemini is great at multimedia tasks and summarizing visuals. Claude 4 is a big step forward in AI technology. It's not just smart, it's helpful, polite, and understands complex things in a very human way. Whether you're using it to write, code, summarize, or just explore ideas, Claude 4 feels like a reliable partner. As AI keeps evolving, tools like Claude 4 show us what's possible. Assistants that don't just follow commands, but actually think with us. What do you think about Claude 4? Would you try it over ChatGPT or Gemini? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, if you like more video about artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.